Right, my dear student, grade 7. So this is the first lesson in your syllabus. What is that lesson, Patio? Symmetry. So symmetry is the first lesson in your syllabus, right? In normally for the maths we are doing addition, calculations, multiplication, division like you know. But in this lesson you will be able to identify about the figures. That one is a very interesting lesson. මාරම වැදගත් lesson එකක් හොදේ ලස්සනට කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Don't worry, I will explain you all the things very clearly, everything very clearly, right? So symmetry. What is the lesson, Patio? Symmetry. By learning, right, by studying this lesson, you will able to identify the plane figures with bilateral symmetry. Huh? What is that one? Bilateral symmetry? Don't worry, we will do that one later. How to draw the axis of symmetry and create bilateral symmetric plane figures. Likewise, we can do. Okay, symmetry. Look at the word symmetry. Now, I have already drawn 3 figures on the whiteboard. Can you see this one? Yes, right? In addition to that, I will show you. Then I have a A4 sheet. I have a A4 sheet. Okay, so you can see this is the A4 sheet. Lamai, A4 sheet means, Patio, what is the shape? What is the shape here? Rectangle. So what is the shape? Rectangle. Then rectangle you can equally fold into, two. Right? Can you see this one? You can equally fold into 2. හරියටම දෙකට නවන්න පුළුවන්. You can equally fold into 2. Right? Look at this one. That means symmetry. That means symmetry. Then what is the meaning of that one? Symmetry. That means you can equally divide, you can equally fold into 2 or more figures, 2 or more parts, right? Then you can equally divide. ඒ කියන්නේ පැටියෝ නවලා හරියටම parts දෙකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Look at this one. Now just consider this figure. I'm just going to fold through this axis. I'm just going to fold through this axis, right? I'm just going to fold through this axis like this. Then if you are going to fold along that axis, may axis එක දිගේ පැටි ඔයා නැවුවොත්, if you are going to fold along this axis, you can get equally 2 parts, right? You can get equal 2 parts along this axis, right? That axis is called as axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Now look at this one. Look at this one. Can you fold through any axis to get the equal 2 parts? Can you fold this one? No. If you are going to fold along this axis, no. This is not symmetric, right? So that means this figure is not symmetric. Is not symmetric. Look at the arrow shape given here. Look at the arrow shape given here. Yes, if I'm going to fold through, right? If I'm going to fold along this axis, so you can equally get 2 parts. That axis is called as axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. That axis is called as axis of symmetry. Now you can get an idea, my dear students. So that means symmetry means if you can equally divide into 2 parts, right? So that means symmetry, right? Symmetry. Look at this one. Equally divide into 2 parts, right? So that means symmetry. Now let's quickly move to some shapes, right? Then we can quickly move to some shape. Let's try to understand how many axes of symmetries are there in some shape. Let's try to do this one. Quickly draw this one, Patio. Just quickly draw these three figures. Hurry up. Quickly draw these three figures. Hurry up. Quickly. Right. Okay, Lamai. Let's consider the shape rectangle and the square. Okay. Then I will show you my rectangle. So you can see my rectangle is there. Right. Look at this one video. I can fold that one into two parts along this axis. Right? Along this axis. So I can fold into equally two parts. Right? So you can see along this axis. That axis is called as axis of symmetry. You know that one. I'm just going to mark that line on this one. Right? Yes. Axis of symmetry. Right? How many axes of symmetries are there? One. Can you find out another axis of symmetry? Another axis for this one? You can fold on this side. And Lama, you can fold on this side as well. Mehemat pulwan video. So you can fold on this one and also this one as well. Right? Then you can do this one. Now you can see, right? If you are going to fold along this axis also, you can get the two equal parts. You can get two equal parts. If you are going to fold that figure along this axis also, you can get two parts. Now that means how many axes of symmetries are there? Look at the rectangle. So you can take that one together. Yes. Now look at this one. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Okay. Axis of symmetry means that your axis of symmetry means how many axes of symmetries are there? There are two axes of symmetry. There are two axes of symmetry. You need to draw this one, right? Look at the square. Square. Have you remember the square? Right? Right, okay. Let's try to find out the square. Now look at this one. How many axes of symmetries are there for the square? You can fold along this axis, then you can get two equal parts. One, then you can fold along this axis, then you can fold along this axis, then you can equally get two parts. Then you can fold along this axis. Neither. That means you can fold along the diagonal like this. So that means you can get equal two parts like this. Maybe the parts dekak kenwane. Same for the other side as well. Right? Now just quickly tell me, Lamai, how many axes of symmetries are there for the square? How many axes of symmetries are there for the square patio? Right? Look at this one. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. That means there are four axes of symmetry. There are four axes of symmetry for the square. There are four axes of symmetry for the square. Right? For the rectangle, how many axes are there? Two axes. For the square, four axes. Right? I think now this one is very clear to you. Lamai, let's try to figure out how many axes of symmetries are there for the pentagon, for the equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle means all sides are equal. All sides are equal. Equilateral triangle means all sides are equal. And for the circle, right? Just quickly note it down and you need to draw this one. Right. Look at the figure video. Look at the figure, equilateral triangle, right? Look at the figure, equilateral triangle. Right, okay, let's try to count how many axes are there for the equilateral triangle. Right, 1, yes, 2, okay, and 1, 2, and 3. How many axes are there for the equilateral triangle? How many axes are there? 3 axes, right? So you can write down number 3 on this one. How many axes are there? There are 3 axes of symmetry for the equilateral triangle. There are 3 axes of symmetry for the equilateral triangle. That one is easy. Right, okay. I'm quickly moving to the next shape. Shape regular pentagon. Pentagon means how many sides are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no? How many sides are there? 5 sides are there. Regular pentagon. Let's try to identify the number of axes of symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 axes of symmetry. How many axes of symmetries are there? 5 axes of symmetry. There are 5 axes of symmetry, right, for the pentagon. Now you can see this one. That means, Lamai, along this line, you can fold into 2 parts. Along this one, you can fold into how many parts? Into 2 parts. Right, Lamai, may? Next, quickly move to the shape. Next one means, right? Next, quickly move to the shape. What is the last shape? Circle. Lamai, look at this one. How many axes of symmetries are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My goodness, so many axes of symmetries are there. That is uncountable. ගණන් කරන්න බැරි තරම් ලොකු ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවා පැටියෝ. ලොකු ප්‍රමාණයක්. So therefore there are infinity number of axes of symmetry, infinity axes of symmetry, right? For the circle. Circle means there are so many axes of symmetries for the circle. So that means we can write down there are infinity axes of symmetry for the circle. You need to note it down. ලස්සනට ලියා ගන්න හොඳේ. Symmetry. Right, okay. Now we already discussed how many axes of symmetries are there for the square and for the rectangle, for the equilateral triangle, pentagon, and for the circle. How many axes of symmetries are there for the circle? Infinity, right? ගණන් කරන්න බෑ. එච්චර ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. Right, okay. Quickly move to the next session patio. Right, look at this one, my dear student. There is a subtopic called bilateral symmetry, right? Bilateral symmetry. That means bilaterally symmetric plane figures, right? That means bilateral, right? Just look at the spellings, right? Lateral, bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means, that means you can equally, then you can, if a plane figure can be folded along the straight line, you can get 2 parts only. දෙකක් එනවා. කලින් එතකොට කලින් ළමයි ගොඩක් එන්න පුළුවන්, so you can take 2 or 3 parts, right? This one you can get only 2 parts, right? Look at this one. You are going to, okay, so you are going to fold along this axis. So you are going to fold along this axis, right? Along this axis. If you are going to fold along this axis, that straight line, along this straight line, so you can get equally 2 parts, right? You can get equally 2 parts. Those kind of figures called as bilaterally symmetric plane figure. මෙන්න මේ වගේවට අපි කියනවා bilaterally symmetric plane figure. Bi means two, ne? Bisect, dividing into two. Bilaterally symmetric plane figure, right? So that means if a plane figure can be folded, if a plane figure, right? If a plane figure can be folded, if a plane figure can be folded, right, along a straight line, can be folded along a straight line, right? Then, that plane figure, right? Then you can get equal two parts. If a plane figure can be folded along the straight line, folded, nava. If a plane figure can be folded along the straight line, then you can get equal two parts within brackets which coincide with each other, which coincide with each other, which coincide with each other. Again, but with coincide with each other, right? If a plane figure can be folded along the straight line, then you can get equal two parts. Those kind of figures are known as right. That figure is known as bilaterally symmetric plane figure, right? Bilaterally symmetric plane figure, right? Bilaterally symmetric plane figure. If a plane figure can be folded along the straight line, then you can get two equal parts which coincide with each other. That figure is known as bilaterally symmetric plane figure. Lamai, right? Same, this one is known as, what is the name of this axis, Padio? What is the name of this axis? Just quickly tell me. What is the name of this axis? Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Right? Then I think you can get an idea. So that means if you can equally divide into two parts with a straight line by folding, that figure is known as bilaterally symmetric plane figure, right? Bilaterally symmetric plane figure, right? Okay, right? Bilaterally means then you can get only two parts. Parts දෙකයි තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? Bilaterally හරියටම දෙකට නැවුවම පැටියෝ parts දෙකයි. Right, bilaterally symmetric plane figure. Then quickly draw this one and note down this one in your lesson book, right? And draw this axis as well, Patio, right? Let's quickly move to some examples for the bilateral symmetric plane figure. I will show you, then I just create a presentation for you. By using that one, I will show you what are the bilateral symmetric plane figure and how to draw the axis of symmetry on those figures, right? Right. Shall I move to some few examples for next one? Right. Look at the shapes, right? In around our environment, we can find so many objects and the things. So we can take that one as the bilateral symmetric plane figures, right? Look at this one. Bilaterally symmetric. You can equally divide by two. You can equally divide into two along this axis, no? Wait, I will show you that one. Along this axis, yes, you can equally divide into two. Neither. So you can equally divide into two. Bilaterally symmetric. Bilaterally symmetric. Second one, look at this butterfly. Look at this one. you can equally divide into 2, right? Okay. May? Very easy. You can equally divide into 2. That one means bilaterally symmetric, right? Bilaterally symmetric. That one means you can equally divide by 2. හරියටම දෙකට බෙදන්න. Look at the third example, Patio. Look at the third example. What is the third example? Look at that leaf. I'm using right blue color. No, I will use yellow color. Right, May? You can equally divide into 2. හරියටම දෙකට බෙදන්න පුළුවන් මේ. Bilaterally symmetric plane figure. Along this axis, by folding along this axis, you can equally divide into 2. By folding along this axis, ඔන්න ඔය රේඛාව දිගේ නැවුවට පස්සේ by folding along this axis, you can equally divide into 2 better. Can't ලස්සනට equally divide into 2. Right, I'm quickly moving to the next one. Let's consider next shape, arrow. That one is easy, no? Then you can draw this line and you can fold that one along this axis. So equally dividing into 2. Equally dividing into 2. Yes, you can equally dividing into 2. හරියටම පැටියෝ දෙකට divide කරන්න පුළුවන්. That one is so easy. And equally divide it. Okay, my dear. Right, okay, look at this one. I'm quickly closing this one. Right. Look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. Right. Heart shape, right? You know that shape, no? Heart shape. I'm using green color. Those figures are bilaterally symmetric plane figure. Okay. Now what you can do, you need to draw these figures in your book, Patio. Just try to draw these figures in your book, right? Just try to draw this one, and the arrow shape, and you can draw the heart shape and draw that symmetric line, right? Then you can find out this one. Wait, that line, as I told you before, what is the name of this line? Have you remember that name? Now you know that name. What is the name of this line? Just quickly tell me, what is the name of this line? Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry, right? Axis of symmetry. So that is the name of this line. Axis of symmetry, right? Okay, look at this one. Just move to the previous one. Arrow, right? Just move to the previous one. Now you can draw this line. This line is known as axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry, right? Axis of symmetry. That line is known as axis of symmetry. Easy, right? Axis of symmetry. Okay, just try to draw this figure and try to mark axis of symmetry in your book. Just quickly do this one. Right, my dear student. Look at this one video. Look at the slideshow. In addition to previous examples, so I can show you some figures regarding the bilateral symmetric plane figures, right? So you can see that one on the screen now. Then you can draw these figures as well, right? I think now you have a very clear idea with no doubts, right? Very clear idea with no doubts. What is the meaning of symmetry? And what is the meaning of bilateral symmetric plane figure, right? Then we can do this one, right? Just quickly note it down, this figure as well. So this will show you how many examples are there. 6 examples for the bilateral symmetric plane figure as well. ලස්සනට පැටියෝ මේ ටිකත් පොතේ අඳගන්න ලස්සනට පිළිවෙලට. Then you need to do this one very clearly and neatly, right? Okay. Right. Lamai, look at this one. Let's try to learn creating plane figures having bilateral symmetry. That means how to create bilateral symmetric plane figures. Look at the first step. Get a paper and fold into 2. Get a paper and fold into 2. Then you can equally fold into 2 parts. Okay. Get a paper and fold into two. Second step, draw any figure of your choice. That means you need to draw any figure of your choice. I'm just going to draw any figure. I will draw like this, right? Draw any figure like this, right? I just drew any figure, then you can draw any figure. Then what is the third step? Cut the figure you drew. Right, okay, then I need pair of scissors, right? Now I'm going to cut that figure along the lines, okay? Right, now you can see this one. Last step where you unfold the figure. Unfold the figure means you can open the figure, right? You can open the figure. Now your figure is like this. So you can see that figure is bilaterally symmetric, right? Bilaterally symmetric plane figure. That means there is an axis, that axis of symmetry, right? Axis of symmetries are there. So axis of symmetry is there. So you can see this one. Then you can fold along that axis. You can fold along that axis and get two equal parts. So this is the method if you need to create any plane figures that having bilateral symmetry. So this is the method, right? So you can write down this step in your book video, then you can do some activities like this, right? Have you remember the Batman logo? Do you know Batman? Just try to create the Batman logo by using this method, right? Just try to get the figure. What is that figure? Batman logo. You can search on the internet. Just try to get the Batman logo and try to create that logo using this method. That means you need to take a paper and fold into two parts. Then you can design that one. Okay, right. I think that one is very clear. I'm quickly moving to the last part of the session video, how to complete bilateral symmetric figures, right? Okay. Right, my dear student. So this is the last part of the session. What is the session? Drawing bilaterally symmetric plane figures, right? Look at this one. That one is very easy. Can you see this main line? Right? This is the main one. This is just like the mirror. Right? This one is the axis of symmetry. Right? This one is axis of symmetry. Right? Axis of symmetry. Lamai, axis of symmetry means patio. Now you need to take equal distance from the both points. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 squares from the right side. That means 4 squares should be the left side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares on the left side. Then I can mark that one as A dash. Okay, right. Likewise, you need to mark the points. Now, if you need to draw that any figure just like this, look at this one. I'm just drawing this figure, right? Look at this one, like this, right? And like this, right? A, and this is the point B, this is the point C, and I'm directly moving to that point. You have to use ruler. You have to use your ruler, right? You have to use your ruler. I'm just using my ruler, right? Okay, likewise you can do. Very good. A, B, C, D. Right? A, B, C, D. Now B, look at the point B patio, balana point B. 1, 2 squares are there on the right side. That means 1, 2 squares, you have to mark the left side. B dash. Look at the C. C is on this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. On this side also. 1, 2, 3, 4 means this is the point C dash. C dash. Just a point. Right? Then you can match this one. First, you need to mark the relevant points. First, you need to mark the relevant point and you can match those points and you can join those points together. Right? You can join this one, right? And A with B and B with C and C with this one. Right? Likewise, you can complete the figure. That one is very easy, Lamai. First, you need to mark the relevant point with the distance. First, you need to mark the relevant point with distance, right? That means 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So this one also 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. 1, 2 squares. This one also 1, 2 squares. Then how many squares are there? 4 squares. So this one also 4 squares. Likewise, you need to mark the point and you can join the points. By using this method, you can draw the bilateral symmetric plane figures. Okay, Lamai? Right. I will show you another 3 figures how to draw that one in the bilateral symmetry figures within my presentation. Then I can clearly mention that one with colors on the presentation. Let's quickly move to that part. Then you need to draw that one with me. In your book, so many square rules are there, no? So you can use those square rules. ඔයාගේ පැටියෝ කොට rule කොහොමද තියෙනවනේ. Then you can draw this one better than me. මට වඩා හොඳට ඔයාට අඳින්න පුළුවන් හොඳේ. මට වඩා ලස්සනට ඔයාට අඳින්න පුළුවන් මොකද ඔයාගේ ලස්සනට square rules තියෙනවා. Right? Just try to draw this one by yourself and we can quickly move to the another 3 examples for how to draw the bilateral symmetric plane figures. Right. Right, okay. Look at this figure, Patio. Right. Look at this one. Okay. Right. May then you need to draw this figure. That means you need to complete the bilateral symmetric plane figure. Then if you're going to complete that one, I will show you that one very clearly. Can you see this line? Can you see my laser line? You need to take that line as a mirror. හරියට මේක mirror එකක් විදිහට ගන්න. Then you need to complete the other side. Now they have completed the right side now. Then you need to complete the left side. Okay, right. Just quickly take how many squares are there? 1, 2, 3 squares are there for the right side. Then you need to take 1, 2, 3 squares are there for the left side. That means 1, 2, 3. Like this. Okay. 1, 2 squares are there. That means 1, 2. How many squares should be there? 1, 2 squares should be there for this. Right. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares for the right side. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. This should be the point. මෙතන තමයි පැටියෝ point එක. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 square for this side, that means this one. Lamai, now my dear, then patio, you can join these points together. You can join these points together. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Likewise, you can complete the figure. That one is so easy. You need to take the equal distance. සමාන දුරවල් අරගෙන Then you need to mark the points take a marker, then you can join the lines. That's all. Okay. So bilateral symmetric plane figures, that means equally divided into two parts. Equally divided into two parts. That is the meaning of this one. I'm quickly taking second example. Now you need to draw this one in your lesson book, right? You need to draw this one in your lesson book. Right. Quickly move to the next one. It's like home, no? Home sweet home. Right. Look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4 means you need to mark on this one. Right. Look at my laser point. 1, 2, 3 points are there. So 1, 2, 3 square should be there. You need to mark on this one. Sorry, you need to mark on this one. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 means you need to mark on this one. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3. That means 1, 2, 3. You need to mark on this point. Right? I'm using red color lamai because those lines colors are also blue, green, no? Right, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Likewise, you can complete the remaining part, right? That one is so easy. You can do this one, right? Just try to do this one, Pedro. Hurry up. Right. So this is the second figure, right? This is the second figure. I'm quickly moving to the last figure of the session. What is the last figure of the session? Right, this one. Then how you can complete this one? 1, that means 1 squares, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 means, so this is the point. Very good. This one equals to 1. Likewise, we can complete that figure. Right? That one is easy. Just try to do the fraction and try to complete the remaining part. Okay, Lamai? Right, okay. Right, Lamai. Look at this one. Now I will give you very simple activities, right? Homework 1, there are 4 activities. From the following, choose the bilaterally symmetric plane figures with the correctly drawn axis of a symmetry and write down the corresponding letters. That means you need to choose what are the bilateral symmetric plane figures. Now look at the A, figure A. Yes, by folding along this axis, you can get equally 2 parts. You can get equally 2 parts. That means bilateral symmetric plane figure, right? So you can take that one as the A. Right? Likewise, you need to write down what are the letters. What are the letters of the bilateral symmetric plane figures? Now look at this one, Pedro. Then balanako me D, example D. Look at this one. Is it bilateral symmetric? Is it bilateral symmetric plane figure? No. If you're going to fold along this axis, so you can't get equal 2 parts for that one. So that is not a bilateral symmetric plane figure. A bilateral symmetric plane figure ekak නෙවෙයි, right? That is not a bilateral symmetric plane figure. Likewise, you can do. Okay. Right, very good, very good, very good, very good. Homework 2. Right, so you can see so many faces, no? Smiley faces are there, sun, heart. Choose a bilaterally symmetric plane figure, write down the corresponding letter. Again, you need to choose what are the bilateral symmetric plane figure. Easy, Lamai. Just quickly try to do this one. And homework 3. Also same. And homework 4, tell whether the dotted line on each shape represent a line of symmetry, right? Yes or no? Look at this one. Is it a line of symmetry? Yes, yes, yes. Is that a line of symmetry? Likewise, you need to think. Hitanna, just try to get the answer. And I will show you these all the things with you. I will share that presentation with you, Lamai. So you can stop the video and you can write down the answers. Just try to do that one by yourself. So this is the first lesson of your grade 7 syllabus, right? Okay. Right, my dear student. So this is the end of the lesson. Symmetry, that means first lesson. As I mentioned before, now you can identify the plane figures with bilaterally symmetric, right? Bilaterally symmetry means you can equally divide into two parts, and you can mark axis of symmetries, and you can create bilateral symmetric plane figures on square ruled paper, right? Okay, I think so we have covered all the things in this lesson. If you have any questions or doubts, we can just discuss in the classroom, right? So please complete your note in the lesson book, right? Please complete your full note.